guys in the comments right now, knowing that we're live, knowing that we are about to talk about how to grow as a content creator, how to grow as a influencer, how to grow as somebody on Instagram or on YouTube, or kick off your journey as somebody who says, man, I want a life that I see people living and I just don't know how to get it. That's what this is all about. It's called Explaynday. And I got to say, two things. First of all, we are live right now on TikTok as well. TikTok.com/Raynday Gaming for everybody in the chat. What's up, Kai? What's up, Juan? What's up, French fries? But I also want to let people know that people who are not on TikTok right now, who are on my YouTube channel, that if you guys want to check out TikTok, that's available, but also want to let you guys know on TikTok that if you guys want to come over to the main chat and see the main screen where on YouTube you can watch all of this, it is on youtube.com. Otherwise, you'll get kind of like the podcast angle. If you want to have both open, one on your phone, one down there, get the podcast angle. As you guys can see, I am live, and you'll get that, or you'll just, end up getting the one angle. So what's up, everybody? And I will be taking a few questions from all of you. So let's get to the goal of what this is, guys. Today, this episode is called Explaynday, and I will be giving you guys a little motivation and a little bit of concrete steps on how to become a content creator, an influencer, TikTok or Instagram or whatever you guys are looking for as someone who's done it. Now, I want to hopefully start this off, too, by saying thank you, Bumble, who has sponsored this series and will be sponsoring this series on the channel for the next few months. And I think this is such a great opportunity to showcase how Bumble and big brands are getting into the gaming space. But not just that, how Genji is my organization coordinating a lot of these sponsorships and making it so that gaming brands and brands out in the world in a big way are coming together for gaming education and helping to increase your ability as a person, as a content creator, to get more of what you want in your life. That's literally what it's all about. These episodes will be recorded. They will be out and all over what Genji is doing, what I'm doing. The VODs will stay unlisted. I might take clips from this and put it on the TikTok. So make sure you're following both of those. So let's get into a little bit of this bigger process, okay? The big process here. Let me tell you that this is a dream. Think about it. Right now, my job is to sit in my gaming room with a nice camera, look at you guys, and talk about life and essentially how to make it and how to do this content stuff. And I think that should give you an element of what this is all about. What's something that you get so excited about that if you could be doing this right now, if you could just be going instead of your 9 to 5 or instead of what you're doing currently, just sitting in your room playing games and having that be a way that you're sustaining your life and your family, would that be worth it to you? You have to find out that little piece of what is worth it. And for me, a little bit of motivation, I started out nothing like in this field. I was a soccer player from 9 years old to 23. I was started at a very competitive level. The second I started, I was good at sports. The second I played baseball, basketball, and then I played soccer, and people were like, he's got to be on the soccer team. And from that moment on, I was training competitively to be a professional soccer player, and I accomplished that goal being drafted to DC United at the start of 2000, and I want to say 13. So flashback 7 years ago, that's where I was. I ended up not pursuing that, and I ended up pursuing my bachelor's in psychology. I continued at UCLA, finished that up, and felt great that was the opportunity, but I knew there was something bigger for me in my life. Why? Because you know what soccer did, fam? It meant that I had to be leaving so much. I had to be on someone else's control, whether who I was playing, what I was doing, where I was going. And to me, I looked at I want a family. I want to be around for my kids like my parents were around for me. I want to be at the soccer games. I want to see them when they're waking up and when they're going to sleep. And so my goal was, wait a second, let's find something where I can scale my time so that when I put an hour worth of work, it makes up for maybe a month's worth of pay. Maybe there's a way I could create a brand or a value for what I'm doing, and then actually not only take that brand and that value, but multiply that to different revenue streams so that, man, I have this value, this value, this value, so I don't actually have to worry about if one value gets a little weak 1 month, I could push forward on these. Or I could go all in on one, and then that'll help spread it all out again. I started thinking, what would it be like to have time freedom? What would it be like to literally be in a position where as a creator, as a person, as a human being, as a creator, I could decide what I want to do with my time, where I want to go, where I want to work. Does it excite you, my travelers out there? What's up, Phil? I see you in the TikTok chat. What's up, Ghost? I see you over there. This is interactive, guys, so feel free to talk. Feel free to jump between TikTok. Make sure you leave a follow there. Jump to youtube.com/RaynDayGaming. Check that out there. Would it be exciting if I could tell you that you could now work and do this job in Italy? And if next week you didn't want to, you could just go to France and do it there? What if I told you, man, you could go to Morocco and do this and make TikToks and be even more successful if you decide to take a trip to the Swedish Alps or head over down to the Brazilian coast, hang out in Rio for a little bit? Would that get you excited? Because to me, that got me excited. So what I decided to do was say, what if it takes 5 years or 7 years, right? I ended in 2013 playing soccer professionally. I said, what if it takes till I'm 30? What if it takes till I'm 30? Would it be worth it? Well, I turned 30 last year, guys. And I will tell you from experience, it's worth it. So Explaynday is not about where you're at now. It's about where do you want to go. It's not about being super talented or starting before everybody else, because I started much later. I started after college, and then I took 3 years to do random jobs. And then I started, okay, when I was 26. So you got time, you have options, and you can do it. This is the everyday man's ability.
Everyone get your notebooks out.
This is the everyday man's guide. This is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for the everyday man to become a YouTube content creator, streamer, influencer, whatever you want, whatever lights that passion inside of you, okay? And again, sponsored by Bumble. Thank you so much. And I think it just shows the power. By the way, Ron, thank you so much for the 5. Always supporting Air to the Ron with the $5 super chat. It just shows how the potential is there, right? Bumble? Look at this. I got Bumble merch right here. I mean, I got more over here. You know, there's more over here. I mean, hold on. Where is it? Because this is cool. Ooh. And when we get out on the field, which sometimes we do, I'll tell some soccer stories later. Look at that. Ooh, ooh, that's clean right there. Boom. So, big shout out to Bumble for being a part of this. And big shout out to everybody involved in the chat. So that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting stuff. Let's get into some of these questions. And I'll tell you where I pulled a lot of these questions. I pulled them from TikTok. And I appreciate that, Maxim. I see you there. What's up, Ray? I see you guys. Again, we're on YouTube at Raynday Gaming if you guys want to check over to that chat. But if you want to see on TikTok or you want to get that second view, feel free to do it. Stu also says, I'm 33 and started YouTube last year at 32. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat, Stu, but I love the inspiration you're already providing.
I'm 33 and started last year at 32.
And he's saying right now, really, that, listen, you could start at any time, which is what I'm trying to tell you guys. So let's not worry about where you're starting. Let's worry about where you're going, okay? That's what Explaynday is all about. It's not about where you're starting. It's about where you're going. And should we tweet this out? Let's tweet it out, guys. Let's tweet this out so people know. Answering cues, talking about growing your brand and content and giving tips from my personal journey in the gaming industry in the inaugural, let's have that, you got to learn how to spell and do tweets, by the way, guys. Inaugural episode of Explaynday, presented by Bumble. And we're going to do a hashtag. We're going to do a hashtag ad, and we're going to take the link of the stream, and we're going to go ahead, copy that link, put it into the tweet, and then we're going to take the actual thumbnail that was produced earlier today by Gen G. Thank you so much, guys. And we're going to put it on there. And we're going to basically link the video with an emoji. Look at that. Okay, so here we go. We've got all the tweets. We've got everything happening. We are live, ready to go. And I'm excited to jump into this, guys. So let's get started. And I'm going to tag Gen G. Let's just get started. There's so many things I want to talk about. So many things that I want to kind of feature here today, but I want to start slower for you guys because I know there's a lot of people who are just figuring out How do I start, and when do I start, and is there anything I need to know? There's one thing that I learned. Paralysis by analysis is the only thing that will stop your career real fast. If you are unwilling to take an L, if you're unwilling to stop, if you're unwilling to do a few things without feedback at all, do a few things thinking they're good and then having them be bad, do a few things that are bad and then having them be good and then be confused. If you have this paralysis where you don't move, you have to think and know exactly what you want to do. You know who I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about, where you think about what you want to do, and until you get it perfectly right in your head, you just don't make a move. That's not what content's about. So free your mind from that perception of content. The perception of what content's about is about a journey of self-discovery through action. Self-discovery of who you are, self-discovery of your message, self-discovery of what you want to say to the world. Think about it. Every content creator is basically just carved their own little piece of the world where they've had people come and know about and now say, you know what, I want to check out that piece of the world every now and then. I always use this example. There's a basket weaver channel out there, I'm sure. And it may not be what I watch. I may not even know about it. But in the basket weaving community, this person's a superstar. And they might be living very, very well. Ninja was making over $200K a year before most of us knew who he was or cared. He was playing H1Z1 in Halo. You don't have to be the household name to make a life that you like. Even if you could supplement an extra $10,000 a year, that would be very beneficial, I think, to a lot of you. It was for me when I started. Shoot, I think $5,000 a year would have been huge. Most people in the world or in the United States can't afford a $500 emergency payment, a hospital bill, an accident. What if you could just do content so that that's your insurance? What if it just paid for health insurance? What if it paid for your car? We're now talking about things that free us up and open up options into our lives. What if it paid for that credit card bill or just paid it off completely? These are the things that I want you guys to think about when we're talking about content and why I think it's valuable. So the first question that I have is, I'm sort of nervous about streaming. Where do I start? Where do you start streaming? To me, it's about doing. And I would recommend that you don't start streaming before doing anything else. I would recommend that you start streaming and YouTube together, or you start YouTube first, and here's why. Streaming is very hard to find organic growth as an individual. The reason is I've had that experience. How are people going to find you in your stream? When you scroll down to a game or you like something, you're going to see the top streamers first. And most of the streaming platforms like Twitch that have some kind of algorithm don't have enough to really say, hey, here's a random person with one viewer that we're going to send to a lot of eyes instead of XQC or Shroud or somebody who's playing that game instead. So you're not going to probably get new viewers that don't know about you, even if you have quality content, unless you have a strong collaboration or you're using a social game to get to, content creators who have eyes and then kind of get some of their fan base. If you want full control, I'd say start with YouTube. The reason why is because when you're in YouTube, you can create videos that will bring you search traffic. For instance, if you know how-tos, like how to tie your shoe, people who make videos on how to tie your shoe will get viewers. It doesn't mean they'll all say, I want to follow you, I want to subscribe to you, because the value is kind of one-off, right? It's not like you're going to go, okay, how to tie my jacket, my sweat, my hoodie, right? You're not going to keep doing that every day, but they'll get eyes. Now, if we know how to get eyes, videos like how-tos, guides, things people will search that they don't have to know about you, but they'll search about something you're covering. Then the only other conversation is, how do I bring value so that they subscribe? Let's talk a little bit about TikTok, YouTube. I know you guys are watching. Do you guys remember a month ago? I'll put it, you guys go to my YouTube comment section, my community. Go to the tab. I said, I'm starting TikTok and I'm going to do TikTok. You guys get on the train and follow me, okay? I told my YouTube audience that. You know what my YouTube audience said to me? Hold on. Wait a second. And by the way, I had 3,000 followers at that moment. I have to look back at this because I want to show you what my YouTube audience told me, because they were not kind. In fact, I was actually a bit shocked. I was a bit shocked at their reaction. And not just the fact that it was it was not what I expected. It was so extreme. I guess that's where I got. It was very, very extreme. 1 month ago, I said, hey guys, New TikTok link here. Are you following yet? And I said, yes, we're 14%. Nope, but now I will, or 18%. 68% said, I mean, really? You ain't going to follow a brother? That was my question. And they literally said, no, I'm not going to follow you. That was at 3,000 followers. I said, I'm going to do this. I believe in this, guys. I don't have a TikTok was the big answer. I'm sorry, but I don't like TikTok otherwise. No option. You're quite confident, Rain. TikTok is cringe. Cool. Well, a month later, I have 35,000 followers on TikTok after having 3,000. That's pretty cool. And you know what that means? It means that you're going to start your journey and people will say no. And you have to get good at hearing no and doing it anyway. If you hear no and you stop, it is going to be very hard to make your journey happen because it will always be a roadblock for you, even if you know better. Like, think about this. What if I stopped and didn't make any TikToks after they said that? Cool. Then I wouldn't have 35,000 followers. We wouldn't be moving forward. We wouldn't be growing. What if that's 1 million followers? What if I stopped a journey that could be opening up doors for me that I don't even know exist because I listened to everybody else? Okay. I've had a lot of moments in that. What you're going to realize is that this is just one example. This is something I've gotten good at because I think in sports, you have to listen to people not putting you on the bench. You have to listen to, coaches will put you on the bench when you know you should play. Teachers will fail you when you know you understood the material, even though you didn't do it in the format that they wanted. Parents and significant others will yell at you because they didn't understand your intention of your action and they thought you were doing it to be bad. And now you know that you were doing it or you were ignorant or you just weren't paying attention and it had nothing to do with being bad or malicious. So what's the point? You will always have people misunderstand, misinterpret you because they're not you. They are living their life with their own perspectives and their own reality. And don't take it personally. Just keep going. When you go and you get 100,000 followers and you say, follow my TikTok, I'm doing good stuff. You think people are going to listen? They're going to listen. So that's the point. If you wait for people to tell you you're okay, it'll be a hard time making it. So go and do it before then. And then let people listen based on your actions. Be a teacher with your actions. So no analysis by paralysis. So that's where you start. Get your YouTube going. Start making guides. Start making things that people want. And learn to provide value for them when you're doing it. All right? It's not just about getting eyes. It's about providing value. And some of the stuff I've noticed on TikTok is whenever I provide value that's unique or that they're not getting other places, I get a huge amount of views and followers. So for me, content is not so hard in terms of a process of understanding what to do. Make stuff that people comment on, that they like, that they share to their friends, and provide value so that they want to see more of it and follow you. That's pretty much it. But finding out what yours is, guys, is what this is all about. So while we're talking about this, be writing down, right? What is my value as a creator? You could be a basket weaver. It doesn't matter what you are or what you're doing. You could be a basket weaver. See, for me, I'm really good at explaining things. That's why it's funny I have an Explaynday. So one of my skills is that because I do that in video games, I always break it down to a simplest form to understand how to improve. The everyday man's way to improve in something. Without crazy talent in gaming, without crazy insane skill, I'm still going to get better and I'm still going to teach you guys to get better. And part of that is my value. I also have other values because if I'm able to explain things and I take my experiences and turn them into something that's a life lesson or something that's interesting, there's value too, because people love hearing stories. They love hearing things they didn't know. And so that's also value. And I'm discovering that more as I mature, that I have value in that space too. And it's not just in teaching games. Okay. Do I have an advantage if I show faces in videos or maybe the other way around? That's a great question in the chat. By the way, guys, what we're going to do at the end of this, I have some preloaded questions already. We've hit 1, we have 8. We have 7, and I'm about to get to 2. Any questions from the YouTube chat or in TikTok, send them into the TikTok box. Also, any super chats I will get to before the stream is over. So the stream will not end unless I hit every single question in super chat. So if you really want a question answered and you don't even want to risk whether I get to it or not, just super chat on YouTube. That is the guaranteed way to make sure I will answer this question. All right. My freckles are not using a filter, by the way. I'll answer that one for free. Okay. Let's talk about equipment. Okay, so now I'm getting over the hump. You know, I now I know I want to stream. I know what I want to do. I'm going to make YouTube videos. I'm going to stream twice a week. Tell my people on YouTube what to do, where to find my stream, cross promote. People who come to my stream, tell them about my YouTube. What's the basic equipment I need? There are 2 things that you should use, guys. A microphone and OBS. That's all you need. Now, there's other ways to expand. And if you have more money and more capital to start, I would invest as much as you can into yourself because it's going to pay off. A lot of people, and especially me when I started, $200 for a microphone or a nice mic, $50 for a headset, or $90 for a camera. That's a lot of money. That's $300-400. I was really like dipping into money I had saved up for a year at that point. But to me, it was valuable. It was worth it. I saw it paying off sooner than later. I had a lot of self-belief. And so I think if you want something, what I would recommend is getting something like a Yeti mic, and then go ahead and get OBS, Open Broadcaster software, download it for free, and you're able to record all of your gameplays, and you're able to record anything with sound, plug your mic in, add a source for your mic, plug your USB mic into your thing. Doesn't have to be anything except a USB, just because you're getting technical, you're learning, just a plug-in mic, and be able to, this mic right here, this is a professional mic that is actually for singers and people who are recording and doing that. I kind of like it because for me, it elevates my voice. But if I was going to tell you guys to get something, let's look in the box here, guys. Let's see what we got. All right, let's break out some old mics. Okay. Is this a mic? There was a mic in there. I think I know where. Oh, here we go. All right, so here's a mic. Here's a mic that I was given. And here's a camera that I kind of eventually upgraded to. So this is a HyperX mic. You'll see this quite often. I actually don't mind the sound of this mic. I think this actually does the trick pretty well. As you can see, a USB mic is something where you have just this simple FireWire cable, this USB, and you connect it into your computer. It automatically picks it up. And it's really not a heavy, right? And so that's where I think keep your setup simple, keep your setup light. I remember when I was doing a lot of this, I was still a college student, and my parents were moving quite a bit, so I had to. At one point, I think my desk was the size of a 3x3 nightstand, and I had my computer, I had my mic on there, and my keyboard. Somehow it was angled. I mean, I was doing a lot. But that's how I started. So make sure, I think it's portable. That was a big thing. Very simple, very easy. You don't want to get bogged down with equipment too early. Now, this is also a webcam that I think you could start with and never upgrade to until you finally get yourself a Canon DSLR. Now, this is what I call a Canon or a Sony, which I think Sonys are better right now. That's what I'm using right now. So this is a Logitech Brio. Now, this camera is going to cost you around $200. Now, when you look at $200, it's kind of a lot for a webcam, but this webcam actually captures you at 4K. And what that means is that when you scale that down to 1980, you can get 1920 by 1080 in 60 frames and really crisp 60 frames. This has the flexibility, I think, to be a camera that you could shoot high quality stuff. It's 4K at only 30 frames, so you probably don't need the 4K. But what the point is, if you're scaling up and I believe the ability for the pixels to, more pixels and more quality, your 1080 is going to look a little crisper. And you're going to be able to take this anywhere. And I used this, once I upgraded, for at least 2 to 3 years before I ended up in 2018, I think, getting a Canon. And I even use this after the Canon. I really have only stopped using this because it's so portable, so easy, hooks on really nice to a computer on the back, just like that, once I got my Sony from EA about a year ago. So that's really what I've been doing. All right, let's put this back because I think that's a great question. These are Corsair headsets. What I think was, something that somebody asked was, what headsets are these? They're Corsair. But I did Logitech. If you want a budget mic, there's a lot of great YouTubers covering that. In fact, I think there's a guy who is on my streams quite a bit in my videos, Prodigy. He reviews a lot of these things. Check him out. Good dude, does a lot of tech stuff. Mike's under a budget, just, I don't know what the new ones are, but I think Yeti, I think Elgato's doing some decent stuff. Check that out. Okay. So let's move into number 2. What's the best advice I can give someone who is new to streaming? I'm thinking of a piece of advice I've always gotten and is kind of standard, but I'm thinking is that the best? By the way, all these comments are from my TikToks and my Instagram. So if you guys want to be featured in the next episode, make sure to follow on tiktok.com/RaynDayGaming. It's in the pin chat at YouTube, and you guys will be able to ask questions. We'll pick them out over the course of these next weeks to be able to do that. So make sure to check that out. I would say the best piece of advice for someone starting out streaming is to understand what you want to give to other people. And the way to understand that is, what have you been given from a streamer, from a YouTuber that you've loved and enjoyed? See, I relate to loving watching somebody when I was depressed. My family was getting kicked out of their house, and I was in the middle of final exams, and watching this guy Togrim play Guild Wars 2, it brought me, in Star Wars, the MOBA, it brought me so much love and joy. And the way he was nice, he was kind, he gave me a good vibe. I base a lot of what I try to do based on what I've loved. When you have a powerful experience that someone gives you, and you say, that's what I want, that's what I like, then you can give that to other people with clarity. I look at HD StarCraft and the way he told me about a game I didn't understand, simply fun, the way he commentated, the way I love sitting down after soccer practice with my dinner in my room, watching him commentate a StarCraft game when I never played StarCraft and never would. To me, said, wow, what's the power of storytelling, of commentating, of providing that uniqueness to YouTube where I want to show up every day. A lot of the things I do are all based on people that I've gotten value from myself. And if you look at that, then that's how you should then create your content. Because what I would tell you guys to do is to create from that place that means so much to you. A lot of people say, I want to create, I want to get super famous. It's like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. I mean, you can pretend that it does. Being famous doesn't matter at all. I mean, you want a bad life being famous? What if you get famous and everybody hates you? You don't really want to be famous for no reason. You want to be famous for the right reason. You want to have money, not just to have money. You want to do things with that money. You want to have experiences. You want to take care of your family. You want to travel. You want to do all these things you can't do. Time freedom. So don't say you just want money. You could have money and have no time freedom, never travel at all, work at a crazy intense job, have very poor health, have very little time to do anything fun because of your poor health whenever you do get time off. So, it's a very hard thing to try to get to the bottom of something if you try to go about all these things that are up in the air on the symbols of life, money, cars, flash, all that stuff, man. And I think this is true. I mean, I'm in a place where I've been in a relationship for a long time, but I know when I was young, I was looking for a relationship, and a lot of my value as a guy was seeing, could I get a girl? Could I go to this club and would girls like me? And vice versa, I think. When you're dating, you're trying to see if people like you, and you're trying to basically, it's a symbol. Because part of it is what we're looking for is the validation that someone likes us and we're good looking and we're, but what you're really wanting in a relationship is just a connection with someone that you love, that you trust, that you can experience life with. That could come in all shapes and sizes. And you don't need to have anyone else think you're really attractive for that to occur. But we kind of look at it this other way, right? Anybody on Bumble right now, start digging a little deeper on those DMs, Get to that experience level, not just the symbol of do they like me, I think that's good advice. That's what I would say. Force Strategy Gaming, he's another guy I watched. He made some great guides. He was just somebody that I really enjoyed. I really loved his Friday Night Magic. I remember watching a lot of Friday Night Magic from him, and I didn't really enjoy Magic, but I did through him. It was very casual. He was very an average player. Force actually is the guy who got me into Smite, and that really was a game that I loved. So watching Force actually guided me to start becoming a YouTuber based on playing that game for the first time and realizing I want to make content on it. So that's another guy. So again, look at the people that you like and find what you like about it in you, and then express that through your content. Any advice in streaming for charity? Jaden, with a $2 super chat. Thanks so much, man. What I would say is that if you want to do stuff for charity, be honest, be open, and encourage people to think about the bigger picture. I've not done as many charity streams as I would like to in my life, but I also think it's great to give anyways. When I do charity streams or when I do anything with charity, I typically simply give a lot myself, and whatever anybody else does, it's great. I love that. But for me, it's like what I'm trying to raise is not always about other people. And it's like if you're trying to give, but you want everyone to give and not you, it becomes a little bit hard for the energy to match up. So give yourself and have zero expectation and high energy. If you do a charity stream and nobody gives $1 and then you give $10 at the end of it, but you work hard, you have fun, you do the absolute best you can, then you got to let that be, brother. You got to let that be, because the energy in the universe knows what you did. And they know what you did at that charity, because that's what's powerful. Your actions are powerful and they will inspire people. It's not that you raised $2 million, $3 million. You know what I mean? I don't even think that's what's inspiring about Dr. Lupo and some of these guys, the money they make. What I think is inspiring is the commitment they have to do it all the time, to just constantly be focused on that. That to me is where I say that is inspiring. Something I want to do more of. All right. Why should you be a full-time creator? This is a good one versus a part-time creator. That is a great question. Oh my God. That's a fantastic question. Oh, I dropped a vitamin. Hold on. Oh, I dropped a vitamin. We got to take our vitamins, stay healthy, y'all. Hey, thank you so much, Leo. I appreciate that. Oh, by the way, anybody who's here after this, we will be playing might play a little Apex. Might chill out a little bit. Oh, my man. No way, Moy. Oh, we got to give a big shout out here before we kick it. Before we start this up, we got to give a big shout out. I'm going to let it come through on the speakers, but I saw it in chat. We got a legend in the chat right here. What's up, him? What's up, Universal? What's up, Jonathan?
Love your content and your personality. Every now and then I have it in the background while I work. Keep doing what you do. A-OK hand.
This is the absolute GOAT here of Apex Legends. Tooncraft, Moipara, you know him as an animator at Respawn, making sure all of that game looks crisp and cool, and honestly, just insane. Thank you so much for the 5, man. Not only that, but just your constant inspiration and positivity. Congrats on the 40K today. I saw that. Dude, you beat me, so you're doing some great things. I love how you are demonstrating being in the industry and also having your own creative brand, and that is something that I've done, but the way that you're doing it with your talent as well, it's awesome to see, man. I'm so grateful. So thanks for stopping by. I'm glad I've made it to the background. The side monitor, the side monitor for you, that's a strong monitor, man. That's a strong monitor. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Go check Moy out on Twitter, guys, by the way. So let's talk a little bit about, as my fans, my chat starts geeking out. Let's talk a little bit about what it is to be a part-time versus a full-time. Now, I think I did a video about this. There's several types of creators. One creator is a industry creator, and that's what Moy is. That's what I've been for a while. I'm no longer technically an industry creator, but I kind of still relate to it because I just had such a long time doing it for such a strong, consistent period. And that's where someone who's working in the industry but also is creating content on the side, I think this is a great place to be. The reason is I love that for people who have this way to look at games with the kindness and the understanding of what's happening from a dev cycle and the challenges and the skills needed and the hours and the man hours put in to create the product of the game. So I just think it's a very enlightening experience for people in general to understand how things are made. And I think it makes me appreciate what is going on in games way more than if I had never understood that. Questions like, why are they not fixing this patch? Like, why does it take so long? Why aren't they listening to the players? You realize there's so much going on behind the scenes, and it's not in malice or malintent. It's actually really, I think, based on a disconnect of information. It's on a disconnect of information and that people have in the gaming industry and the things that they're looking at versus what the players are looking at. And I think that's one of the things I hope to heal, having been in it and now kind of out of it, but still around it, and also a content creator first now. And I do hope to heal that. It's part of what I like to talk about in Apex Legends. And that's one of the things that I really find valuable for what I do. Thank you, Rarifish. I appreciate you being here, man. There's another type of creator, which is that full-time creator. That full-time creator is somebody who has to pay all their bills with their content. They have to do everything with their content.
How long have you been full-time content, and what was the point you decided to go full-time?
Juve, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Listen, actually, this is a great question, and it kind of goes into this statement. So I'm going to answer this while I'm answering what I was talking about, which is when I decided to go full-time and why I was part-time for a long time. So I was a part-time creator for the first time. Let's do this organized way. Full-time creator, everything that you do from a creation standpoint pays for your bills. You don't have anything else that's getting paid by any other type of money. This is pretty much, you got to be making a lot of money for that. Even if you make $5,000 a month simply doing content creation, that's a lot. And I know a lot of people who have bills that can exceed that. I mean, if you got mortgage, if you got payments, if you got kids, if you got insurance, if you got, car, you got, all that stuff, it could come to a lot. So you got to also be saying, because it fluctuates and I could have a hot month and a low month, I'm down for the $5K month. I'm also good for the 2.5K month or the $500 month if it gets really bad. So full-time is really, to me, the way I look at full-time is you have to, and this goes for you, Juve, and why I decided, I have to have so much cushion for my lifestyle that even if it tanks for a while, I'm good. Then, because doing full-time and then pretending to love what you're doing, but knowing that if your video doesn't pop off, you're going to have to, you can't pay rent, that starts to shift. I believe that starts to shift a lot of some of the fun. It also, however, will do something good for you, which is it will light a fire under your butt. It will encourage you to really think for what will succeed as content. And if that's what your goal is, and I think that's ultimately what our goal is, there could be value with that, in that. But I just know the way life works. I didn't want to set myself up for that if I wasn't really ready to jump into it in that way. And so there's a way to be full-time content, but also do other things to make money. And I'll get into kind of my lifestyle as well and how that works. Part-time is basically doing any other job and then coming back and making content. Your content might make money. It might not make money, but you're making content and you love it and you're growing. It's building. It's a process. This is a great place to be. This is where I was for the majority of my life. From 2015 into 2020, I spent most of the time as either a part-time creator and a part-time industry creator. And so that was really where I developed my chops as somebody who wanted to make content. The benefit of part-time, and this is why I recommend part-time for a lot of people and why I recommend it for me, is that you are making money outside of your content. So your content is your outlet for your creativity, and you are not burdened by the fact that you want to try a new idea. Yet if this video doesn't pop off, you'll lose money that you need for your rent or your payments the next month, and it will force you into a negative spiral of not doing what you love, then being in the same situation where maybe you want to do this job, right? If you want to get out of your 9 to 5 to do this, only to be feeling like a victim of your own thing you created, that's not cool. So part-time for me, was always something I did on the side. I would say as I became a YouTuber, my life changed quite a bit. I used to work as a nanny for a beautiful family, a wealthy Mexican family that I think their family is kind of involved in, Univision and stuff. They're just there's just some people that I knew outside of that. No, the only reason I mention that is because they have people work for them. Just like, you need a job that's like kind of almost like what you would make at a full-time job, but they like you and they want you to work and like take care of the kids. That was something that I was looking for to get out of my full 9 to 5. Now that became something that wasn't even about the money. Like for them, I love them so much and they're such a place in my heart because not only did they offer me time freedom with allowing me to be financially stable, but they also were just a family that I cared for truly and deeply. And their kids were growing up when I was watching them. So, they're still, Emilio, he might be in the chat right now. They still watch the content. They still are here. Slayer, thank you so much for the 199. What's good, man? Glad to catch your stream. Thank you so much for that 199 super chat, Slayer. It's good to see you again, man. And so to me, what I was so grateful for was not just their love and what I learned from being around them and supporting them as kids. And is that I also had that childlike innocence and joy of being able to see like what a kid's like, what's fun. Like, let's just go play soccer for 3 hours after school. Like, let's just do fun things, go on a hike. And then I would take that into my YouTube when I got back, and I would just be in a good mood and having fun. And that's how I started to grow. So when I started making money on YouTube, and I think my biggest month before I got hired at High Res was about $2,000. I think I made about $2,000 on YouTube, and I was doing views for the first time. I was like, oh, this is as much money as I'm making doing my other job. So now I'm doubling my income. But what was interesting about that is I actually, at that time, I got offered a job, and then I went to High Res. And then for High Res, I got offered a salary, and the salary was ended up being around, where I was. The trade-off actually was the experience I was getting and the cachet. The reason I took the job was because I wanted to I thought gaming could be real, like for me. And so I wanted to say, let me go to this company. I cover Smite and Paladins. They're about to make this game, and I'm going to be the face of it. So that's cachet. People will respect what I got to say. Plus, I'll learn about gaming. I'll learn about design, anime. I'll learn about everything in the game industry, esports, balance. I'll create my own esports league. I'll manage casters and commentators. I'll work more than anybody in the esports industry because these guys have like 6 to 9 leagues going all the time. And I'm going to cast 3 to 4 of them. Get in at 10 a.m., balance meetings, host patch note shows, talk about updates, Friday night dinners with my best friends who are designers, talking about the ins and outs, what it means, the stuff Overwatch is doing, the stuff, everybody's doing, like just getting to the industry. I was like, this is great. And I learned so much. But honestly, it took all my time. So I did stuff after work. So for those 3 years, I worked really hard. I basically would go 10 a.m., 8 to 9, whatever, do my own thing. But 10 a.m., I need to be in the office, dressed in a suit, ready to go. Cast for many hours. A meeting if there wasn't. A patch no show if there wasn't. A meeting or a full cast that day. Working on weekends. Early morning Sundays, Saturdays, because we were doing stuff for people to view, not in the necessarily Monday through Friday. Off days change all the time. Get back at 5, 6. Then I start playing the same game I casted for 8 hours for 2 hours to get a good video. Then I'd edit the video. Then I put it out. I wake up in the morning. I do the thumbnail. I'd voice over. It was just all these processes that was like, I grinded. Like it was a part-time job that was like on top of a full-time job. So I felt like that was going to be valuable at some point, and it ended up being valuable at some point. But I guess what I'm saying is that you got to be willing to not just do part-time and have part-time. Sometimes it's going to be full-time, part-time. So like time and a half type of life for a while. But you know what you're doing? You're building the wedge. You're leveraging your time until, boom, you can kind of break it open. And that's ended up what happened. A lot of the reasons I was able to get into doing full-time, get into these better rates and things like that was because I met people along the way at High Res that actually supported me, that guided me, and ended up helping me to be where I was kind of today. So that was one of the bigger things. And in fact, the reason I'm at Gen G and the reason is because I met the lovely Amanda, who's the talent manager at Gen G, and she was working at that time on a game that when I was part-time at High Res, I was covering on the side called Gigantic. Do you guys remember the game Gigantic? Anybody ever play that? So I ended up doing one of the bigger videos on Gigantic at the time. I think it got over 150,000 views maybe. And I did other videos. I did guides. I love the game, and I got a good contact with Amanda there. And then I believe she went to Razer for a little bit, and then she went to Gen G. But at the end of that journey, after having meeting her and built that relationship with her, when I went full-time, she actually offered me the chance to kind of talk about joining Gen G and the org. And so it's been a beautiful year with them, and hopefully continued year. We'll have some news on that soon. But anyways, that's how, getting these relationships can sometimes impact, your next step or the people that you end up working with. And when you find good people, you follow good people. Biggest thing I could say. When you find good people, follow good people, guys, especially when it comes to content. All right, so let's talk about brand deals. Good place to mention because we have a brand deal right now. How do you get brand deals? How do I get esports org stuff? How does this all happen? All right, so I'll tell you a little bit about that. Flash forward when I was creating. Oh, sorry. So one thing to finish this up. When should you know and go part-time, full-time? Okay, so here's what happened. So basically I was part-time and full-time at a job in the industry, and I was also part-time working on my own YouTube channel. At that point, I had gotten about 170,000 subscribers, and I was really in a bad spot because nobody wanted to watch Paladins anymore. The game was dying. They made some bad decisions. I was taking the brunt of it. Like, you're the shill. You work for the company. You know, you keep saying it's fun, but like, we all know that you're just trying to, you know, sell it up. So essentially, I started doing other reaction videos. And I did those reaction videos to just different things. And I actually went to Japan. I visited my cousin. Started watching guys like Cody Co, who I thought is so funny. I haven't seen Cody Co in a while, but he's really been on TikTok now. He's been on YouTube forever. GOAT, man. He's just a really funny guy. And all he does is watch other people's videos, react, and he gets millions of views. I was like, wait a second. I'm making all these crazy, unique things. What if I just react to fun stuff that people want to see anyways? Like, I know content creators who do that. Like, I've met and talked with Tyrone. Like, you know, he's Tyrone Magnus. He reacts to all these things. He does crazy, great brand deals with things like Marvel and stuff. And all he does is watch the trailers. He watches like 100 trailers a day. And I think that's something cool. I'm like, wait a second. You know, people may look at it as not as interesting or not as unique or not as creative. But there's still something about the ability to command people wanting to watch what you're doing. And so I was like, let's do that. And that's how I ended up reacting to a really big video for League of Legends that came out. I was one of the first people to react to like one of the new KDA things that came out. It was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And then, so I got like 360,000 views out of nowhere. It kind of bumped some more interest in League and Smite, kind of got my channel going a little bit. And then I started reacting to a lot of things. Then I reacted to Apex Legends. And then that 5 days later, after I reacted, I made a tips video, and I was already in the move. I was making so many videos. I was like, let me put this other one out. That video right there was ranking and explaining every weapon in Apex Legends. I made a mistake in the video. I called a magazine a clip, and everyone commented on that. They were like, how does this guy keep saying magazine and clip? That comment and interaction and all that stuff like blew that video up, as well as the watch time was extremely long. My average watch time was like 5-6 minutes, maybe 4 minutes at that time. The watch time for that video was around 13 minutes on average. It was like triple the watch time. It was insane. And so it blew up. It got over 1 million views, my first 1 million view video. And that month and those 2 months basically provided me the leverage to go full-time content. Now, being very transparent, those couple of months on YouTube, like probably in 2 months, I probably made like 20 grand. That's a lot. That should sound like a lot. That was life-changing for me. That was life-changing. I was in debt. I was in huge debt. I was like $500 of bills a month in debt, like from credit cards. I had tens of thousands in student loans. I had a lot of debt. And so I literally was living paycheck to paycheck, even while doing YouTube on the side. That couple of months of growth off of those decisions ended up providing me with enough, like, okay, even if things go bad for a while, I still have some time till I can just like scale this into something else that essentially I'm able to risk it. I can risk it. I can risk going, you know? So anyways, that's what happened. And I ended up telling, and then I'm not going to get too much into this, but I ended up getting some offers to do a job, right? And so the rate for the job was actually, interestingly enough, as much as I made in 1 day of working for this esports job. So, and we'll get into esports later, but this is also something I do. I work esports, okay? So let me just say that when I was at Hi-Res, I got offers to start doing freelance stuff. And the 1 day of working to do the freelance was paying me more than I made in an entire month at Hi-Res for 1 day of work. So now let's start looking at building this situation that you could go full time, right? So I'm thinking if I do one esports gig a month, I do a decent time on YouTube with full effort, and I have any other income coming from any places, I'll be fine. I'll be able to make it work. But having those multiple avenues is really, really important. And it's something that I still do today. I'm still able to do these esports shows maybe once or twice. But I thought that, when I'm scaling my time, this is actually how you start to scale your time. You start doing things that are efficient instead of just working for hours for pay. Start doing this is a very valuable thing I'm doing for someone, so I could charge a lot more because it's very valuable. And it's turning the dial for them and me. And that's where I like to be in business with people. Anyways, flash forward to that. We also started working with Amanda at Gen G, which we set up for actually about a year. So I was trying to talk with Amanda probably until summer of 2018 or something, 19, I forget. No, 2019. And I didn't sign to Gen G till February of 2020. So it was about 6 months of that as well, talking about that. And that's a whole different thing that probably in episode 2, I'll talk more about what it's like to be a part of an esports org, what it's like to work with them to get brand deals and stuff. But I wanted to just kind of give that story and that context because I think it's very important to set up this idea that I decided to go full time because I finally had a cushion where I knew being a responsible adult, a person, knowing what I want to move back to LA. I want to move in with my girlfriend. I want to start building my life the way that I want. I know that I now have basically no way I could fail. There's no way I could fail. Even if I just work so hard and do one esports gig a month and no money on YouTube at all, I could at least pay rent, get by, and be making content. And eventually, if I make content all month, every month, even if I make no money, I will eventually do something that's worthwhile. You know what I mean? I have enough skills to do that. So that is where I started to trust myself and get more confident. And notice, guys, as I'm building skills and as you build skills and do it more and more, you'll be more confident because you'll know, wait, I know how to navigate this situation. I've been here before. I appreciate that. Thank you so much in the TikTok chat. Sabia, I think, saying, Sophia saying, proud of the success. Used to watch all your Paladins esports, watch your commentary. Thank you so much. Okay. So let's talk about brand deals. How do I get this beautiful Bumble? How do I get McDonald's and Pizza Hut, or how do you get things that you're excited about working with? For me, I want to talk about Bumble. I've worked with Bumble a couple of times, and Bumble's a great partner. They're very interested in the gaming space, but not only that, they're really interested in diversity, and they're really interested in promotion of women and equality in the gaming space, and making sure that everybody feels included. And to me, when you get into creating partners, one of the biggest things that I see so many people do wrong is they don't think about partners when they make content. All of my content, if I had just taken the easy way out and complained about everything, built this really negative, toxic fan base, cussed because I was angry, I don't think I could work with anybody, especially not Bumble, or probably not even Gen G. If I had preached negativity and saying people were bad, that's not really diversity. That's not really inclusion. And I think one of the things I think people make mistakes about, what's up, Broken in the chat? What's up, everybody in the TikTok chat as well? Hey, thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate you, brother. Have a great day. Is that a lot of people don't think about what they want to do in the future. They don't think about who they want to work with. I'm always thinking about who I want to work with. If I want to work with big brands like Bumble in the gaming space, I have to present a platform and a format they feel comfortable with. And because we build positivity here, because we educate people, because we are about those things, diversity, inclusion, responsibility, and respect, and growing a positive community, right? Then that's an easy thing for a brand to want to be a part of, because they're branding themselves as well. I mean, not every big brand wants to be considered, wants to pair up with somebody who makes you look bad. Imagine having let's do a Bumble example. Okay, you bring somebody you met on Bumble, but they're not cool. Maybe not met on Bumble, but let's just say you're dating someone and they're not really a nice person. I don't know if we've all been there, but some people have definitely dated people. They realize, oh, he's kind of mean, or she's kind of not nice. You bring him to a party and all your friends are like, this person is not, I don't want to hang out with you because of this person. Your associations can latch onto you. So if you start being negative or have a lot of negative people, then everyone's not going to, want to necessarily be a part of what you're doing. So think about that. What brand do I want? It's part of the reason why I actually have not streamed with a lot of people, because I can't control other people and what they say. I don't stream too much with subscribers or fans either, because somebody could be crazy. What I do is I really try to curate everything that I do so that I'm aware who wants to work with me. And then how do you go about getting it? A lot of times it's connections. My org set up a lot of the work I've done with Bumble, but I also have gotten a sponsorship with Bumble outside of Gen G that I did with one of my other YouTube partner managers, who's not really a technical partner manager, but she manages a lot of the stuff I get from a Gmail account. One of the things I'd say is if you're doing good content, make sure you set up a business account, because people will start sending you emails. Once you do enough views, you get in their eyeballs, their systems, and they'll start sending emails for brands. And YouTube has its own thing called FameBit, which allows creators to connect to brand deals happening. I haven't used that yet. I don't seek brand deals. Like, I want to just work with anybody just to get an extra buck. I have done it if it's been outrageous amounts of money, you know, but I will say that it's not what I try to do. I try to create an environment so that when I'm working with somebody like Bumble, you could tell this is a very curated, high quality brand, but it's also a very curated, high quality space that I'm trying to create, which is why you can't just work with anybody. So part of it is like understanding like, hey, maybe when you're young, you can work with these people, but if you want to really create that space where bigger brands want to work with you, you might have to say no to some things. You might have to keep your quality high. And you have to know that, yes, you can do pitches to other companies. And it's something that I want to work on. I actually haven't. And fortunately, I have not actually I would love to link in a stream session. That's possible. And we have a good one on brands. Do they pay monthly or how do they compensate? I'll get into that actually as well. There's a lot of different ways people pay. But I would say that I haven't had to go out and try to get brand deals. They have come to me in a way that has been making sense, and I've just done that. However, I know there's some people who put together some amazing brand deals, and I think that that's the next level for me. How can I reach out to Bumble and not just say, what do you guys want, but say, hey, guys, Bumble, I have an idea. I want to give away a full $10,000 gaming setup to one of my fans who uses Bumble. I want to do that. And I want to go to their house. I want to film 5 TikToks on it. And I want to do a whole YouTube video on it. And we show up at their house and we just give them a gaming setup. And if that works, we do it to another fan. And we just keep going. For me, if I'm Bumble and I'm thinking, hey, well, listen, we have a budget for X, Y, and Z, 10 grand to do that. That could be a million view video. That could be even a few 100,000 dedicated, committed, exactly the target audience that we want video. That would be a big deal, especially on the TikTok and all that stuff. So if you have the communication and you have the open, conversation, you might be able to pitch stuff like that. But cold calling brands is sometimes a little hard unless you have an idea or a connection. So that's why building connections with people is really important, and just really focusing on your content and your quality so that brands see you as something that they want to work with. That's probably what I would say. You really want to make sure that is the case. Now, somebody asked me a question on TikTok. I thought, been watching me since Mixer. I was on Mixer for a while. That's right. So brands can compensate you in many ways. I've been compensated by brands. There's different types of partnerships. One, as a gamer, you're gonna have games that want you to play their game. That's usually a flat fee, right? Some brands want to do long form deals where it's like, hey, every month I want to have you on retainer for this amount of money, and we're gonna do these many videos. I had a company that wanted to do a deal like that, so they paid me it was a very small company. It was probably 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It was $500 a month. It was a small deal, right? I've also worked with games that single games have said and paid me over $6,000 to just put a 30-second ad at the beginning of my video about some like Apex or something, I'm not saying anything specific, but you could see some of those videos. I've done them before. It's like, hey, check out this game. That's a very efficient use of time, right? And now I've also worked with people like Bumble, I'm doing something monthly with. So we're going to be working with Bumble for the next few months. Will that continue? I don't know. Will we do something big, one-off? Maybe. But all these deals, what's kind of cool, what I think you guys should recognize is that these deals are very personal. They're very, what are we trying to accomplish? It's a new space for everybody. It's not like I'm working with Bumble. I have worked with Bumble multiple times, so it's a bad example. But, say some brand comes at you and they're trying to get into the gaming space. They're looking for your expertise to craft something as much as they have their own goals. And it's about meeting in the middle. And I think brands are starting to understand that creators know their audience and what will work. And they're being more lenient with, you know what? We want to get into this space. We want to be honest. We want to be authentic. We want to show up well and not too corporate. We want to feel like we're connecting to these people that we're really trying to engage with. Let's let, maybe the creator drive the vision, and we'll provide some funds or things like that. So I wish brands, I want to work with brands who are wanting to give stuff away and do big moves like I was just talking about. Like, let's give somebody a $10,000 stream. Maybe I don't even make anything on that video. I probably would. I'm saying maybe I don't make anything on that video. But instead of getting me to do a 30-second ad, for 10 grand, what if you gave me 5 and we bought somebody a 5 grand thing, and that video was the content? And we didn't even have to do this whole ad thing. It's like, that's the video. It's all Bumble themed, cool computer merch, like upgrading someone who's never had a computer before. Like, to me, that's what's awesome. The potential with that. So, it's a really fast moving place, man. It's a fast moving place. And as I learn more, I'll obviously talk to you guys more about it. Some brands want to do in-person stuff. I've done so with McDonald's with the Anaheim Ducks. And I thought, and the Chargers, the Anaheim Ducks is in person. We had the whole Honda studio by ourselves, Honda Stadium. So it's like all different types of things. But, what I like about what I'm doing with Bumble here is that this is very on point with who I am and my audience. It's like teaching people not only on TikTok, where we're live on right now, but teaching people through YouTube. This is exactly, what I think is a great starting point for, establishing trust and establishing like, yo, this is cool. Like, I like these Bumble Explayndays. You know what I mean? And you guys seem to be loving it as well. We got great viewership, and support. Okay. So where do I think the games industry can improve? This is a great question. I think this kind of is getting us towards the last couple, which are very important questions. The game industry can improve in a lot of things, but I think one of the things that we could start improving in is our understanding for one another and the process that we're all going through. I think, man, the world gets better by understanding each other. I mean, I'll tell you the story. I went to Italy, and when I went, I knew I had to go back. It was the same thing with Japan. I haven't been back to Japan. I've been to Italy 4 times now. I've been to Florence 4 times. Once I played, and I actually had a great time where I was on a regional team for the United States, and we played Juventus. We went to the quarterfinals in a tournament, but I scored against Juventus's youth team. It was amazing. We were in a stadium. I was like, dude, I just scored against Juventus. Like, are you serious? And it sparked my love for it. I went back with my girlfriend. We've been back several times. My girlfriend with my buddies, now with my family. But one of the things I love about traveling to other places is that it teaches me humility. It teaches me respect. And it also, what it really does is it teaches me that there's so much better. There's so many more things that we can get done when we value each other. When you go to Italy and you go to Japan and you go to these places, and a lot of the United States members don't actually travel outside the United States. I wish we all did, but we don't. We stay in our state actually most of the time. And even when we travel out of state a little bit, when you travel to these other countries that have different values and different systems, I could sometimes easily see, man, that's so different than me. But I've then in that same awareness gone, but this is so great and so good. Like, if you go to Italy and you eat their food, you go, wait, dude, this is the best thing ever. You go to Japan and you see that the way that they have these clean streets and this respect for one another, everybody stands in a line. You seen escalators in America? Everybody's haphazard all over the place. Like, escalators in Japan, I'm not kidding you, they look like a line. Like, there is nobody out of step. But that's how their whole society is. And what I realized when I was doing this, man, is everybody has incredible value. Everybody does things great. But it's our ability to try to say that our thing is better than yours that takes away from what we could be achieving in this world. And in the gaming industry, it's just that. You look at somebody who doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you. Maybe they're a girl, maybe they're a man, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're figuring it out. Maybe they're coming to terms with their identity. Maybe the truth is they have a different background, a different culture. Maybe they've been hurt before and they don't know how to express in that same way. And we judge that. And we say that that's not what I want. That's not a cool gamer to watch or somebody to be interested in. But the truth is they could be offering you through that experience something that would uplift you so much. It might change your life forever. I love traveling because there's nothing more physical and visceral than going to another place and seeing you being out of the loop for the first time. When you surround yourself with people who think like you and do what you do, you're in your own loop and you get it. It makes everything else look, on the outside. When you get to go to somebody else's inside and you're on the outside, and then you can appreciate the differences, that is where the growth is, my friends. And that, I think, is what the gaming industry needs. There's so much toxicity because we don't take a second to put ourselves in everybody else's shoes. There's a lot of, I think, separation of people in a way and genders. And I just think there's so much that we can do together that we have to realize it is not serving us to pretend that what we got is better than what anybody else has. In fact, what I would like to say is that the reason I love YouTube is that every one of you in the TikTok chat, everybody over here in the YouTube chat, everybody who's going to watch this video and post or watch a clip right now, you have something super special that you offer that no one else can offer. And everyone would be better for it if they heard what you had to offer. So offer it. Make your channel, make your stream, make a little video talking about something you just love, you're just passionate about. Almost bit my dang tongue talking about that. Do it so you're so excited you almost bite your tongue talking about it. And I'm telling you, if we all did that, we all were just like, I'm not trying to be like this guy or this girl or whoever it is. I'm trying to be like me. And I'm loving that everyone else trying to be like them. And let me check out you today. Let me see what you're doing. Ooh, wow, that relates to me in this way. And I'm actually learning a lot. And thank you so much. Now I'm going to take that and upgrade myself. That's what I believe we need more of. And I think when we do that, man, everybody's going to make better content. Everybody on this channel is going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Big howdy from TikTok. What's up? What's up? Yeah, we are all unique. That's true. What's up, Curry? Yeah, I see you over here on the YouTubes, man. Nice, bro. All right, so what's the best thing I can do as a small content creator to support other creators? As a small content creator, there's only one thing that you need to focus on, man. The one thing that is so important and so valuable and I think so beautiful about content creation is that you don't have to do anything but build your community. When I looked at making videos and content for the first time, all I did was say, let me get my first 400 subscribers. With that, I could shape the world. And you know what? It's 345,000 now, but I'm not done. I don't think I'm ever done building. I mean, I want 200 million. Why not? If I have 200 million people who are hearing even a bit of this message today, and if they're being even just a little bit kinder, a little bit more self-aware, a little bit more supportive of one another, would that not be a big deal? I think it would. So for me, it's about those 400 people to start, that 100 people, that 10, those 50 people, those 10 people that you influence in a good way, that then stick with you and pass your message along. When you do that, then you know that you're unstoppable. You're literally unstoppable. Literally. There's nobody who can shut it down. And that's the same thing in life, right? I think, we look at what's the meaning of life. That's a deep question. I think the real answer that I've gotten to over most of my life is that, when we're always building and we're always looking ahead, sometimes we do miss the present. And the point is you want to build, but you also want to appreciate where you're at. Because life is about growing. It's about learning. I think it's about self-discovery. I think it's about getting to the core of who you are. And I think there's a spiritual essence that I have to that. But I think it's also emotionally, mentally, physically. How do I take everything that I do and add mastery to it and move to the next level of whatever it can be? And if you do that and you take care of yourself and you take care of your family and the people around you, soon you just are impacting the world. The most important people and the most important things that have been done started with somebody making a change and a focus inside of themselves and inspiring their wife, their husband, their kids, their community, their neighbors, their community. You know, we have an opportunity to do something like that with our message at such a bigger scale right now. Imagine Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, Amelia Earhart. Talk about all these people, pioneers. If they had a platform like YouTube, think of how many lives they could change on Twitch, on TikTok, the amazing things that they're doing. And they wouldn't be going and reaching for all these millions of people like they had to. They could just be doing their own thing right here on a camera, preaching, speaking, showing their actions, and inspiring everyone. So we have to understand that we are given this world right now that can explode good ideas and honorable ideas and loving ideas in a way that has almost never been possible. And to me, that's what it's about. It's about taking advantage of that each day. Yeah, soul is great too. Soul is, I love it. Finding that purpose, man. You know, I think you'll look back at your life when you're older and you've built a loving family. You've built a family that continues to pass it on, that believes in the good and that supports each other, that does that in their life on a day-to-day basis, treats people with kindness, goes through it with excellence and with joy and with an understanding that, yes, there is something bigger to it. There is something spiritual to it, and to always understand where the importance is of all that. And to first and foremost, make sure they're taking care of themselves. If you build people, you know, and you build a legacy like that, then man, that's, you know, what else you got to do? What else you got to do? Does a face cam make a big difference? Seems people only want face cam nowadays. I would say face cam is pretty standard, yeah, but it doesn't mean that there aren't going to be people who don't. Lyric doesn't play with a face cam, and he's one of my favorite streamers. It is just different. It's different. Okay, guys, that is going to basically conclude the official portion of this stream. I'm going to probably give you guys maybe a couple of minutes for any remaining super chats, any comments, anything on TikTok, things that I might have missed that you really feel like you need to go ahead and super chat that right now. I see Juve coming in with a super chat already, because we are going to be wrapping up the first episode of Explaynday. But I'll also tell you how to be in episode number 2, because episode number 2, in my opinion, is going to be maybe even better and more important than this. And we're going to get this super chat from Juve yet again. Another $5 super chat. Thank you, man.
Awesome chat. This is great info on the gaming industry and content in general.
This is great info
for your story
on the gaming industry and content in general. Thank you for your story. Thank you so much, Juve. I appreciate that. And thank you for the support, everybody who's been hanging around. And of course, this is the type of stuff that I talk about in smaller ways on TikTok. And I think that's why, if you guys want to be a part of it, these questions were all pretty much pulled directly from my TikTok or my Instagram, which are a lot of uploads from TikTok onto Instagram. So follow at Raynday Gaming in the link in the description of the chat, right at the very top, pinned to the top. Go over there and leave a follow on TikTok.com/Raynday Gaming. I already told you guys once. I think take advantage of it now. The next episode will most likely be next week on, I believe, Monday. No. Yes, maybe. I believe that is the day we're holding. It may be different, but I believe that is the day. So we will find out. But yeah, I think the 22nd is when we were planning on doing it. And we may have a special guest. So there could be some cool stuff there as well. I'm going to also really quickly say that I will be making some Apex Legends stuff soon. I have to do some recording, and I want to make sure the recording is great. I don't want to pester you guys with uploads today on YouTube. I've already done a couple videos on TikTok, but let me tell you this video is going to stay up. I'm going to allow it to be potentially another upload, so it's going to maybe ding you guys, and that might be it for today. But then tomorrow, expect something from Apex, expect a video, potentially a stream, but definitely expect a video. We will be doing one of those as well, and some TikTok videos. All right, guys, I'm heading out of town this weekend to visit my parents. I'm very excited to see them. I'm driving to see them in Vegas and just say hi to them. They moved, and so I'm very curious to see how they're doing. and see my family, my sister, my brother, my mom and dad. So I will be gone for the weekend, but I should have content coming out as well. And definitely I will be bringing my TikTok Elgato Light. So I will be doing some stuff there. So make sure to follow again if you guys can get it. Thank you so much, Bumble, for sponsoring this. This was an awesome opportunity to chat with you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. To me, this is really something that I find so valuable and so just awesome. So I'm really appreciative of it. I'm excited for episode 2. All right, my friends, thank you. Chow Boo, I know one of my mods, Chow, she's it sucks. So late, but check out the VOD. It's going to go up, so do not worry about it. It will be up on the channel. It will be a video. I think it's valuable. All right, my friends, you know what it is. As always, hey, see you guys do. Never give up, never stop gaming, and I will see you all next time. Again, thank you so much. Big shout out to my super chatters, Air to the Ron, Stu, Kai, Toon, Moy, Juve, The Slayer, and Juve yet again. Big